Hi guys, welcome to the last meeting of the year. So thank you all for making it. I know we have a lot of guests in the room, so
Scott Pesh, Southwest Eureka. Glad to be here. Morning to you. Merry Christmas.
I'm happy to introduce our speakers for today. Jonathan Claasen, would you stand up so everybody can see you? And Elliott, where are you? Back there will be
Dizzy.
Who is Jonathan's son, and they will both be our speakers today.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm Sania from Interact. I'm Vice President. I'm Mason Blair. I'm the membership officer.
Great dishwasher.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Thank you. Can run for a kid, huh?
Hi everyone, Carly from Eureka Rotary and Food for People.
I'm happy to introduce Mark Doolin and Kim Wilson. You'll hear a little bit more from them later.
So a couple weeks ago I was at an Interact meeting and they shared this video, so I wanted to share it with you of what they've been up to. I hope it plays. No, it doesn't.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do I have anything? Three. Shush.
Yeah, okay.
We also participate in local invasive plant species polls, such as the English ivy poll out in Trinidad and the European beach grass polls out in the Vanilla Dunes. We've been improving the school campus this year by painting the bathrooms with murals and keeping the senior lawn well as repainting our bench out front of the school.
One project we've been working on in Interact is having students paint bathroom murals in order to combat vandalism and beautifiers as well.
And I think they still have calendars for sale.
Gila does, yes.
And how do we buy them?
You can contact through myself or Carly probably.
They're beautiful. Jessica? Yeah. Excellent.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
There you go. Excellent. So first off, I was contacted by the Arcata Playhouse this week. They are they have a project that they have grant funding for to do some art classes for the houseless folks in our community. That will be kicking off in January, and there's a whole series of classes that they're going to do here locally, teaching art, theater, some of those sorts of things. But the kickoff to that event is a holiday dinner, and that's going to be happening on the 21st of December. So next Wednesday, they're going to serve turkey and mashed potatoes and salad and I don't remember what else, but Jackie said, would you like to roast a turkey, Jessica? That was how the conversation sort of, so, and I said, oh, Siva used to roast 3 at my house. I could probably roast a turkey, but she also said, I do need volunteers for that particular event too. Really, she doesn't need, she's not asking for money from our club. She's not asking for anything else other than just hands-on service project opportunity. There's a sign-up genius that we sent around just a little bit earlier this week. Thank you. There's a handful of people that have signed up already. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you there. I'll be there with you. And so I would just encourage you, if you are around, come and give a couple of hours and help out at a hands-on project. I bet you'll leave feeling really good about yourself and about the community. The other thing that I would say is we have a long history with the Playhouse. They were one of our SWAT projects, serving with our talent projects. And a number of years ago, we came in and worked with them to do some upgrades to the facility. And it's been really inspiring and exciting to see what Jackie's done since then in terms of the way that the organization runs, the funding that she solicits or enlists, and the programs that she has going on. So here's a chance to sort of continue some of the work that we have done with the Playhouse and have a little opportunity to do some hands-on service work. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
So thank you to everybody that contributed outside of what we were gonna do anyway. Beanies, socks, Chris and Lisa, Craig and Janice, John, the flashlights, Rebecca with the colorful beanies, she's not here. Terry and Marty, socks. These are the people that are putting together the stockings for transitional age youth, and this is something I kind of picked up in Sarah's name, and as she's absent, was a very important project to her. So I am very glad. Thank you for to everybody that put in a little extra effort into making sure this is getting done. And to the board for letting me do it. Also, Carly.
Want me to come up?
Sure, because we have better news for you. We had a local entrepreneur donate, maybe Bob wants to talk about this, $9,000 in the name of 3 Rotary clubs. We get that bonus towards backpacks for kids. So we get a little $3,000 bump to anybody that's on our waiting list for backpacks for kids. So that's a huge, awesome, powerful thing. And then to honor all of the hard work that the organizers of Taste of the Holidays did, they got to choose to put $1,000 toward a project. And you were the project.
Yay!
So,
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Angela. Thank you.
Yes.
This is a powerful thing that you're doing.
Yeah, just thank you to the whole club for all of your support. All you do with backpacks for kids all year long. It's been a very hard year for many people. Food costs more, so this will go a long way. Thank you so much.
From Zoom, Mike Pizzane is saying, please ask Lisa H. if she is aware Arcata schools are in session next Monday through Thursday of next week.
Yes, she is.
She is. Mike, she is.
There's no school.
Lazo.
Good morning, everyone. So I came to talk about the dinner that I would like to auction. This picture, Vanessa Googled it, but it's a Ugandan dish. It's called a roulette. So what I'll be making that for the dinner will be, for the appetizer to be a mushroom soup with garlic bread. Then the entree, the main course, will be a Ugandan dish, the chapati, the one that is used to roll that, made with East African pilau rice. Then we shall do a chicken stew. Then the dessert will be a banana cake topped with ice cream or whipped cream. That's it.
And how many people will this serve?
You can serve 8 to 10 people per day.
Okay.
Any questions?
Lazo, this is a fundraiser for the year-end safari journey.
Yeah.
There?
And how much do you need to raise?
I haven't done the math.
$10 zillion million.
500 bucks. 500 bucks. Okay, I will pay $500.
Wait, we're doing math.
This is dinner for 8 to 10, and Lazo's sous chefs will be myself and Claire and probably Stephanie and maybe Bob from our committee, so you'll have the support you need to get this all on the table all at once.
Is this just one dinner, or we need Bob?
Yeah.
Do the auction.
Are people buying seats or are they buying the whole dinner? What's going on? Yeah.
Well, I'm just concerned that we buy the whole dinner and then we'll figure out the CD. So you can
I think 2 dinners.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
use.
So I have a second for 500.
Well, that was quick.
It's 2 at 500.
2 at 500.
do we have a second bid of And if anybody wants to outbid the first $500, we can get this thing going. Anybody online? We got anything going here?
Is there a third dinner?
Sounds delicious, I have to say.
Serves 8 to
Hey,
10.
8 to 10. We could group up. We could do a thing. Come on, you guys. Let's give everybody 30 seconds to just think about this a little bit. Okay.
That wasn't
If
very.
you want to contribute to the 500,
You might get invited.
50 bucks a seat? Yeah.
Okay, we have one bid of 500. Is there another bid out there? Another bid for $500 out there?
Oh, well, yeah, we've already sold 2 dinners.
Okay, so my work here is through?
Well done.
I suspected it was.
Good seats.
See? Oh, individual seats. Oh, that's fun. Very good.
I always like anything like 1,200.
Uh-oh. We need $200 more.
We have
Evidently he did the math.
We have a anonymous donor who sent 500 to the club for Lazo to go with these funds. So
Woo.
Lazo, you're
All
going to
right.
Western Safari.
Now you're over.
Well, yeah, we'll figure out. While Ian has the floor.
So I would like to welcome Lark Doolin up to the front, please, to join me here. You all know that as you fund the Rotary Foundation towards your own Paul Harris, you also collect foundation points, and you can use those to recognize somebody in the community as a fellow Paul Harris Fellow. And the reason I chose Lark, it's appropriate that the wording on the certificate kind of leads into what I'd like to say. Lark Doolan is hereby named a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations among the peoples of our world. I mean, how appropriate is that? And for those who don't know, Lark Doolan and his fiancée Kim are board members of Queer Humboldt and are very engaged in our community to help this community, all the spaces in the community, be a more welcoming and safer space for our queer community. And so I'd like to give the opportunity for Lark to take a moment and just give us an update on what's going on with Queer Humboldt, but we do have a certificate and a for you in recognition of your service to our community.
Thank you so much. This is such an honor. It was unexpected. I was invited, but not really told why. So, I love that this dovetails with the end of the year, because I've been doing a lot of reflecting on the year that we've had, and it's been a really hard time for queer people in our community and nationally, as an increase in hate has been happening. And years ago, somebody told me the enemy is not a person or a group of people. The enemy is fear and ignorance. And I really took that to heart. And so when I see fear, I do what I can to move towards hope. And when I see community members in fear, right, I do what I can to move us towards hope. And ignorance requires education. And so we created a community education program where we've gone around and presented to about 2,700 people in Humboldt County in the last year. So that's 1 out of every 50 people in Humboldt that has gotten a Queer Humboldt presentation on what the letters mean, right? When I say 2S LGBTQIA+, like what am I even talking about? And all the, what our kid called it the other day, alphabet salad.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, the alphabet salad, and what does it mean, to have a diverse sexual orientation or gender identity or gender expression, and how do we build understanding? And, part of it is just if we don't have the same vocabulary, right? If we don't understand what the words mean, we can't even have a conversation to learn how to understand each other. And so we're coming to the end of the year where we've done a lot of education, and to be honored in this way is very special. So thank you.
Just reminds me of a joke that's like, I was trying to remember an LGBTQ thing, but I couldn't get it straight.
Perfect.
I'm glad to do the introduction of our speaker today. Some time ago, I went to the Noon Club meeting, and it featured our speaker today telling about his startup company here, and it's a very impressive local success stories. Person who grew up here, went to high school here. His son went to high school, and his son Elliott, we're talking about Jonathan, of course, but his son Elliott is here also and is part of the company. And Elliott played music with my son in high school, so they're great buddies from the past. And it's interesting how many kids graduate from Arcata High and eventually come back here again after being away at a college somewhere. So Jonathan is co-founder, if I remember it right, of a startup company here. He's going to tell you all about it. Sounds like a lot of you already know about his success story. And Elliott, I gather, is now CEO of the company. He's going to be speaking too. So let's give a really warm welcome to our local speakers here.
Good morning. One thing though, you missed one thing. Jonathan's most amazing award and achievement, 1983 Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award.
We were
we were got the same award.
Which I discovered 30 years later.
That's right, that's right. Thank you, Greg. Yes, good morning. I am Jonathan Claasen. This is not me. Jonsteen is our company. I don't recognize that name, but my last name is spelled Claasen. Yes, I recognize.
It was 5 o'clock in the morning.
No shame. Nobody ever gets it right. No one ever gets it right. But I recognize many of your faces. I have been around. I was born in Arcata, grew up here. I grew up with Romy. Matt and I used to bang around quite a bit on the basketball court. Yeah, I know Greg from business and also the DAR. So anyway, yes. Well, I think to start out, we're here to talk about our tree company, the Jonsteen Company, and I think that we were really fortunate to get on ABC World News Tonight a couple weeks ago. I think it was Cyber Monday, and I think that my good buddy now, David Muir, does a pretty good job of kind of giving an overview. There's some filler in there with some other little Christmas tree farms, but it's a little 2-minute segment, and so I think let's just look at that, and then I can kind of talk about kind of how we got here.
Years and still going and growing, literally. Tonight, our great Made in America Christmas is back, our 11th year now, supporting local businesses across this country. And in stores across America tonight, there are kits being sold from one very special farm.
I've been selling these wonderful, incredible kits for 24 years. Oh, that's a long time.
We first showed you Jonsteen Tree Company's Christmas trees that you grow yourself years ago.
Lots of tourists come through and they always get excited to pick up their seed kits. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, David.
Since 1992 in McKinleyville, California, the team growing tiny trees, millions planted, and then you pick it up from there.
Okay, David, well, it's Cyber Monday, as you know, so here we are in action, chipping trees all around the country.
Their coast redwood tree on the left, giant sequoia on the right. You add soil in the pot, then fertilizer, then the tree. A little water, and a lot of love. And tonight here, just look at how the trees have grown. The Geyer family in Washington sending us theirs. In Oregon, the Levitan family, the tree, taller than Dad now. In California, Hagen Foreman planting his right in his front lawn. And tonight, as always, we celebrate our local tree farmers.
Hey, David!
Cooper's Christmas Tree Farm in Brazelton, Georgia, too.
This is just some filler they put into our story.
Gotta get a baby in there.
In Pea Ridge, Arkansas,
Hi, David.
Martin Babb at the Wonderland Tree Farm.
We are so grateful for people who shop local. Merry Christmas.
And in Oxford, Michigan, the Candy Cane Christmas Tree Farm on Candy Cane Lane, of course.
We are so thrilled to know that what we've worked so hard on during the years is going to grace somebody's home for Christmas.
While back in McKinleyville, California,
Happy Holidays, David!
the Jonsteen Tree Company with their holiday message. 3 words in mind.
Made in America.
We love it. We love those trees now, taller than Dad. Send us your one thing made in America this Christmas. Just getting started. Yeah, so that's kind of the overview of what we do. Now, how we got here was it's a business story and a life story. As I said, I was born in Arcata and grew up here. Went through high school here. I went down to Pepperdine University and got a very lucrative degree in creative writing. I came back to Humboldt, married my high school sweetheart, then Heidi Schaub. My in-law, my late father-in-law, Victor Schaub, was a great Rotarian, and my mother-in-law, Sandra, is still active at the Union Club. And we traveled around the country after we got married and figured, you know what? Arcata's the coolest place in America, and decided to come back here. And I hung my shingle up as a wordsmith and opened a little PR and advertising office in Eureka, writing press releases and making advertisements and consulting with some businesses, working for some local ad agencies, basically just hustling, doing whatever I could. But eventually I found some great clients. I worked for the Carters and was a publicist for the Hotel Carter and Carter House Inns back when they were famous, and as well as Holly here in town. Well, as I was doing this, I had an office in Eureka, and I had a buddy that I met through my wife's friend who they were dating. And we hit it off and struck up a great friendship. That was Steen Christensen. He is the Steen in Jonsteen. And his parents had been involved in national park concessions. They had managed the concessions over at Mesa Verde. And they got transferred to Muir Woods National Monument down in the Marin Headlands. About the time Steen was getting out of the Navy and coming to Humboldt State to go to school. And when the parents came in to manage Muir Woods, they worked for a big company called Aramark. And prior to Aramark taking over the concession, it was run more like a mom and pop somehow. I forget, I don't know if this was about the time it became a national monument, but there was a guy there who from the 1950s had always grown little redwood tree saplings and offered them there, and it was kind of iconic and part of the experience at Muir Woods. But when Aramark came in, they're like, we aren't a tree nursery. We aren't going to do this. But Steen's clever parents were like, Steen's up in redwood land. And back then, this was the 80s, and you know, LP had a nursery in Little River, Corbell was running, GP had one in Fort Bragg. Everybody was growing tons of redwood trees, and they like put it all together. They're like, we're gonna get Steen up here, going to college, and then we'll kind of devise this little tube to put it in and make these little labels, and once a week he can go up to the nursery, grab a flat of redwoods, stuff them in the tubes, and put them on the Greyhound bus down to Mill Valley. And so, of course, I, as a friend, would just go over, we'd listen to loud music and drink beer and stuff trees, and we, you know, it just got me out of the office and, got me a beer. So we continued to do that. His parents ended up retiring, and Steen came to me and said, this is going to go away, this little tree thing, and what do you think? Do you want to do it? Is there something here? And as a wordsmith, I was struggling with the fact that as soon as I stepped away from my desk, I stopped making money. And I hated that. And I'm like, if I could get something that we could sell, that could take on a life of its own, that could work when I'm not at my desk necessarily. So I'm like, yeah, having something to sell, that sounds great. And I had been spending all my time writing flowery prose about fancy hotel rooms and glistening jewelry and beautiful wine and food, and I started to apply those same copywriting techniques to trees, and I found, my gosh, trees are so much better to write about. There's so much more there. There's so much more. And so we kind of began rethinking this tree thing and saying, we can really build this. This is really something else. And it got me engaged in seeing trees and learning about trees, and then getting enthusiastic and trying to transmit that enthusiasm to people through packaging, clever packaging, art, and clever writing. And there's the old days. This is in my garage in Arcata, still listening to music. I'm a musician, so there's always band gear around. And yep, that's the early days. That's for sure. That's probably about 1990. We had one account, Muir Woods, and we kind of ran it that way. And then we slowly changed the packaging, made it more interpretive. Steam got in the car, started visiting other parks, other places that we could sell, and started building a little list of places that were offering our trees. And the other thing we did was we started, trees die. And so we knew we were selling these to a lot of travelers. And so we're like, I'm gonna hook up with these people that are growing our trees. And so I started putting our 800 number over everything, our address, and what do you know? The phone started ringing. And people are telling me tree stories and telling us where they're growing their trees, and people are interested and they want more. And I'm like, this is awesome. So we have wholesale and we're gonna have retail too. And
I have a question.
yes.
What is a tree story?
A tree story? Oh man. Okay. Well, pull up one of our tree stories. It's basically just a little nature writing. You could call something like, the redwood forest, the pillars of antiquity, or, stuff like that. And you just lead people and try to get people fascinated. And, when you write about trees, there's cultural aspect of trees. The indigenous peoples, how they use the trees for materials and medicines, as well as the fruits and nuts. And then there's where they grow geographically. So you have the story of a region and the story of how the trees impacted the region. Look at what redwood trees have done in Humboldt County, right? And Doug fir. We try to, this is just some of our website, sequoiatrees.com. And, showing people trees, telling them a tree story, how big it gets, where you can grow it, what makes it special, what color the cones are, how big they are, how long it will live, all those things.
How tall do they get?
How tall do redwoods get?
Yeah, what your little ones. I mean, they're eventually.
We grow in 3 sizes. We grow in those styro blocks, and those we sell them at like 2 inches tall, up to around a foot tall as a plug seedling. And then we have styro 16s, which is kind of a deeper cell, kind of like a Coke can sized tree. Root plug, and those can get to a foot to 2 feet tall, and we ship those. And then we grow in 3-gallon tubs. Those we call our extra larges, and like yay there. And those can, we can ship what UPS will pick up. So we've done a fair bit of strapping boxes together and getting some larger material, but generally, it's a 4-foot long, 20-pound parcel, and we can ship it all over the world.
I think she was asking how
how
tall will they, if you let it go, how tall will it grow?
The tallest redwood is like 380-something feet tall right now, Hyperion, yeah.
So don't plant it in.
Yeah, we hear all kinds of stuff. That's the other part of the tree story, Vanessa, is the people that call in and tell us. We get pictures from all around the world, of redwood trees in the strangest places.
Can they grow other climates?
Oh my gosh, yes. All over the South. The picture, I don't know if it was in the Muir story, there's one guy, he has a 30-foot, 35-foot redwood tree in Atlanta, Georgia, in Washington, D.C. area, in Maryland. And then giant sequoias, which are a bit more cold hardy. We have those probably in every single state. And if you go up and down the coast here in the Pacific Northwest, like through Portland, Seattle, if you look at the skyline or the treescape, like you can see the treetops over here in most cities. If you look out and you ever see a perfectly pyramidal shape, almost too perfect, almost like this, it's a giant sequoia. They, you know, the younger ones that are around 100, they're very, very symmetrical and almost just like a cone. Yeah.
I think Craig had a question.
Oh, I'm just going to make a comment, you know, talking about how big they get. When I was with Louisiana Pacific in 1973, I supervised the first tree planting crews for reforestation of our containerized, you know, seedlings that we grew there. Green Diamond, a few years ago, commercially harvested some of those trees. So they're commercially harvested trees that I planted.
Wow.
So, you know, of course, we have an amazing growth, you know.
How tall are they?
It's like 100.
Size doesn't matter.
Yeah, Green Diamond has, you know, and we're a different kind of nursery now. I like to call us a living library, kind of an arboretum that you can shop from for seedlings. And I think that's one of the ways that our company kind of, they talk about entrepreneurial disruption. I think that's kind of one of the ways we disrupted the nursery scene, because little trees like this don't really make it to market, don't make it to consumers. You can go down to Ace, you can go to Home Depot or Costco, and it's amazing. Like when those redwood trees come through Costco, you know, these 14-footers for whatever, 75 bucks. I can't ship a tree that size from Dow's Prairie to Eureka for 75 bucks. So economy of scale and all that stuff. But generally speaking, small, cheap trees were not very readily accessible to people. And so we just started hustling, and we were like, you can retail these, we will make a custom label for these for your company. Instead of that magnet or that darn pen, put a tree in somebody's hands. We developed educational materials for teachers and school districts, classroom kits. We just hustle, and because you have to, right? And, you know, basically didn't make any money for decades, and that's how we met Greg. And,
I taught him how to do that.
Yes, yeah, we're an equal opportunity borrower, AEDC, REDEC, you know, we love you guys, thank you. Yeah.
Does anybody ever call up and say, I'm interested in having my own forest, and then buy a whole bunch of trees?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We just, you know, as we are emerging, all the nurseries are shutting down. Yeah. You know, LP, no more. Green Diamond, they only grow clones now. They're trying to grow an untapered, basically gigantic 2x4 with no branches. Yeah, so that's what they're breeding for. And you know, there's some. That's right. That's right. And they want it to tip over it in exactly 85 years and load itself on a truck.
So he clicks.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know where was I, but. Yeah, everybody's shutting down. So we have, Bob, experienced more and more people coming to us, small landowners. The problem that what's not a problem, because we always are all things to all people. We're all tree to all people. So, but it is difficult economically because a lot of the people that have forests, small managed forests or ranches with timber and timber harvest plans, they're used to buying from Humboldt Redwood or these other logging companies. And for those logging companies, the nurseries are always kind of on the expense side of things. They're just a cost, so they aren't the money maker. The money maker is in timber harvest. And so the trees are really cheap. You know, they're under $1 each for a seedling. We retail a beautiful seedling for about $9. So we have to balance that out a little bit. But, you know, the other day we just sold to a family up in southern Oregon that is trying to kind of migrate redwoods north as the climate changes. And they aren't alone. Many people up in the Pacific Northwest, and especially southern Oregon, are moving redwoods up there to see how they're doing, and they're going to do great. But so we just sold 5,000 seedlings to this 86-year-old guy, and he's the kind of patriarch of this family. You know, we have a lot of them. So
We have a last question from Thomas.
Well, yeah, say some more about, as these big companies, logging companies get out of the seedling business, are you replacing them then with your seedlings? Have you been able to do that?
Again, it's this tension between the market that we've kind of created for these small trees and the former market for the dirt cheap trees. So the crop trees. If we can sell in big numbers, 5,000 or 10,000 at a time, and we do have a capacity to grow almost 1 million trees now a year. You know, we do some of that. We do some of that. The regen work, working with some of the environmental services people. We work with Save the Redwoods League. We're growing some trees that will eventually make their way into Redwood National Park. But they get very picky about seed sources and things like that. And so we're just kind of more of every woman's tree company. And we, you know, there's so, I don't know, how many of you have planted a tree in the last year? A few, good for you. Yeah, but a lot of people actually never have. And people don't really see trees. And kids too. You know, there's nature deficit disorder and people really getting more connected to their phones than our planet Earth around us. So that's kind of what we're fighting against and saying trees are so cool. And they're a great hobby. And you should plant them and have fun with them and learn about them and look at them and appreciate them. And that's kind of been our mission, to share the joy, knowledge, and actually the experience of trees and nature with people. That's what we do. And thank you very much for having us.
Scott, you had an announcement?
Yeah, again, Scott Pesh from Southwest Eureka Rotary. Hey, congratulations on a great Taste of the Holidays fundraiser. That was phenomenal, and you guys put on a great event. I'm here to talk about Southwest Eureka and Old Town Rotary's co-event with the Yahtzee tournament. So yeah, it's our 5th year. I remember coming here our 1st year and pitching it to you, but I first want to thank Matt Babbage and Remax Humboldt Realty. He's one of our title sponsors. Them in Providence, St. Joseph.
And I hate board games too.
I know. But it's an easy board game. And anyways, so hey, this year we're gonna be, let me go over the beneficiary real quick and I'll make this quick. But our second year was for Dr. Evan Buxbaum's project he had in Eureka. They actually are opening up at a youth crisis center that is located right behind the old Arcata Eureka movie theater, Midway. So they bought Jay Bonner's house and they've converted that into a nice 12-bedroom facility for our youth. And, excuse me?
Yeah, that's a sorrel tree project.
Yeah, Sorrel Leaf is the name of it. So our goal is to net out $50,000 to help them build the pavilion. And it's going to be for their group therapy sessions. So that's where the money's going. And it's Saturday, January 7th. We're going to be at the Adorney Center. We're hoping to max out at 400 people. That means it's going to be 50 tables of 8. We've already sold out 34 of them. So we like Arcata Sunrise to maybe buy 1 or 2 tables. If you can, just put it together.
How do we buy tickets?
You can get a hold of me.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not actually giving out tickets, but we're just going to sell. The tickets are $100 a piece.
And how many people at a table?
8.
8.
And
Yeah. Scott, let me say, I don't go, but my staff and employees fight over those positions now to where this year it's like top 8 producers get to go. And they love it. And even they did it over COVID when you were doing it on Zoom.
Yeah.
They literally fight to be able to go to that event.
It's a lot of fun.
You zoomed the Yahtzee
What's
tournament.
that?
You zoomed the Yahtzee tournament? Is that
We
what
zoomed it during COVID.
During COVID, they did, yeah, they did it.
Yeah, we were all set to go to Bear River Casino. We were all set to go to Bear River Casino last year, but then COVID had the uptick, so we just went back to Zoom. And anyways, but it's a great event, it's a great beneficiary, and how cool would it be to have all these Rotary clubs kind of blend together and just put this thing together. So I appreciate your time and happy holidays. Thank you.
So Shauna,
You gonna take a look at me?
There's 1, 2, 3.
we got one.
You too?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4?
Was this our table right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Table
happening.
All right, well, I'll get a hold of, we'll try to
Okay,
later.
no problem. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Shoshana?
I'm just going to mention that the last holiday art market is out here in the center of the plaza on Sunday, and at the end of that, there's the Hanukkah on the plaza. They'll be lighting the menorah at 4:30 in the afternoon. So just, oh yeah,
On Saturday?
on Sunday, last Sunday art market. The last part of the Season of Wonderlight will be a party I'm doing, which will not be raining on December 23rd.
She decreed it, okay.
Yeah, Snowflake Queen out there with kids with bubbles and snow party, so that will be nice weather.
Let's do the raffle before I forget it again.
Let's see, how would you want to pull one? 2, actually. Alrighty. First one, last 4 is 9426.
Right here.
Okay.
My Christmas present. What do you like, $300,000?
I think it is 160.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Good work.
Thank you, thank you.
Sophie will get next one, now we're back to, I forget what we started at, but whatever we started at, is 9430.
9430? Right here.
Oh my gosh. Jesus. Rigged. You get $5. It's only $5. All right. Awesome. Wow, it is your lucky.
So should we sing happy birthday to Tom?
Yes.
Because he would hate it.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tom. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Oh, my friends, anything else? No? We'll have a wonderful 2 weeks off. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, holiday, all the things.
And when we come back, all the chairs.
Oh yeah, you guys are gonna spend the 2 weeks that were dark putting your committee presentation together for our committee fair. That both Jessica and Romy won last year, or last.
Time.
It's only
Last 6 months ago. At the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be here?
Time isn't. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be January 6th-ish.
First.
I think that is the
Yeah.
First Friday.
So if you're not committing treason, we'll see you here.